Morning, fellow Abyss dwellers. So we thought for the channel to give you guys some more content. We try and do a bit of a weekly astrology, Abyss dwelling astrology update to give you some of the main themes, the main celestial themes that are at play each week. Give you guys something to ponder over, something to meditate or pray about, some, archetypes that you can focus on each week and really make the most of the celestial energies. Try and keep them nice and short and sharp and utilize the best that Mother Nature has to offer in these videos as well. This is a very special week to start these videos because we have a very special alignment just taking shape in the sky right now. Actually, we are halfway through May. So at the moment we have a really interesting double conjunction in Taurus. In both, it actually lies across sidereal and tropical Taurus. So we know the archetype, regardless of which system you use. We know what zodiac archetype is most in play here. It's actually a double conjunction between, it's almost a reactivation of the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction that's happened on the 20th and the 21st of April. And that was really basically the most positive out-of-planetary combination we can have. Themes that come to mind are sort of sudden surprises, sudden good news, sudden fortune, surprising fortune. But also with Uranus, it's about liberation, freedom, liberation, releasing the shackles, breaking out of things which don't serve us. And with Jupiter, that's often spiritual matters, higher-minded matters of ethics, morals, philosophy, even spirituality and religion. The way that we go about learning the deeper truths of the world, they're all Jupiterian things. So it's almost like a time of spiritual liberation ourselves from beliefs which no longer serve us. And doing it in a very Uranian, sort of Promethean way of the liberation of humanity. So, and what we have now is a double conjunction with the Sun and Jupiter. So essentially the death and rebirth of Jupiter, as the ancient astrologers would call it. And we also have very lovely Venus-Uranus conjunction, and they're about 5 degrees apart. And so they're both in Taurus, which is where the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. So it's almost this final bang, this final push forward of this Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, and in Taurus. So all about the Earth, fixed Earth, being grounded, being stable. But then once you have that stability and that grounding, you can then enjoy the good things about life. We think about Taurus being the senses, being material security and comfort, pleasure, all these Venusian themes, because Venus is the ruler, of course, of Uranus. All these things are in play. These are all the things that can sort of ground us or give us the theme or the flavour about how we move forward. So almost putting these final sort of steps in place to find our balance, find our stability, find our grounding, and it's from that we really now leap forward into this new Jupiter-Uranus act of spiritual liberation. What's most amazing about this conjunction, this double conjunction in Taurus, is the broader alignment that it forms. So it will actually be getting trined, forming a grand trine with both Pluto and the Moon. So the Moon actually comes in, because the Moon being the fastest moving planet, actually comes in and hits and is that trine in the midpoint between both the conjunctions, basically as they go exact. So this will be probably tomorrow, Northern Hemisphere, sort of Northern American time. And you'll see, if I'll bring up the chart, you'll see this amazing grand trine between Pluto, the Moon, and this double conjunction. And then completing the configuration is a sextile to Neptune. So we have what's called a kite formation. Absolutely beautiful, you can see it now. And so much rich rich, deep, flowing, harmonizing energy that's supporting this sort of really interesting Taurian spiritual leap forward, like leaping forward from a position that's very stable and grounded, and from a place of comfort and security. And we have this sort of this deep emotional support with the moon and Pluto coming in, and then Neptune's just sort of finishing, you know. So the Neptune obviously opposing the moon, so there can be some sort of potentially some heightened emotional fluctuation that might be being felt. You know, it may a pull towards like escapism and intoxication, but you know, that's the world at the moment. Nothing too unusual there. So just an amazing amount going on. But then we also have just this little like spark, this little trigger maybe that can help things move along. We have this square, or this exact square between Pluto and Mercury. So what's that? So Mercury is thoughts, communication, how we understand and intellectualize the world. And Pluto is deepness, sometimes darkness, but ultimately the idea of transforming. So you go to depths, you go to new places you haven't been before, which challenge you, which make you feel like things might be sort of out of control slightly. And by doing that, we move forward, we transform, we move forward, I guess, in a sort of evolutionary sense, a concept into a new direction. That's ultimately what Pluto does. And so with Mercury, it's this transformation of our worldview, of our thoughts, of our the way that we, you know, even the paradigm that we use to rationally understand the world. Pluto with a square comes in and just creates a tension that forces that transformation of words, of thoughts, of ideas a bit more quickly, makes us lean into that tension and move it forward. So that's always the final little like trigger for this sort of this kite formation. And I was thinking, guys, how do we sort of bring this all together? Got a kite, sort of tied down to this sort of Taurian stellium. You know, we're landing our kite, we're landing our celestial kite. What does that mean? Sounds sort of nice, but what does it actually mean in purpose? Well, we've had a very hectic month or so. April was probably one of the most challenging, most difficult, most confusing, most contradictory months of astrology that certainly since I've got into astrology, and many other, I guess, more experienced astrologers said the same, that, you know, they can't remember seeing a series of alignments like that when we had the Great American Eclipse with Mars and Saturn, and also Jupiter and Uranus as well, Mercury retrograde basically the whole month, and the eclipse being exactly conjunct Chiron. Just a whole bunch of stuff going on. And so I know I felt all over the place, and I know many of my friends did as well. And now we can just bring that all down. There's going to be a lot happening probably for the rest of the year, particularly if you're in the United States. Wish you the best with your election. I'll be watching closely. Hopefully I won't lose money on this one like I did in the 2020 election. That's another story. So there's going to be a lot happening. June's going to be pretty hectic. June we have the next Mars-Pluto configuration. It will be a square, and the Mars-Pluto square was what kicked off the events on October 7 in the Middle East, in Israel and Gaza. So June could be full on in a more obvious, vaguely apocalyptic way, maybe. So that's what we're doing now. We are grounding, we are landing our celestial kite, bringing things back to Earth, finding that sense of security, comfort, groundedness, and then we can launch forward in the rest of the year. Alright guys, hope that was helpful. If you got something, and we'll be doing more of these short videos. If you have any, please engage in the comments, like, subscribe to Ludar's World. Some amazing stuff coming soon, and we look forward to doing more of these videos for you. Right, peace and blessings.